Dear friends, welcome to the third day of our forum and to the second part of Science Stand-Up Battle. We enjoyed the first part of it yesterday and today it's time to continue. Today we'll have 7 videos to watch. Just a reminder of what it's all about. The aim of the Science Stand-Up Battle is to speak about your current research in a fun and simple manner. It should be only based on the speaker's personal research. The winner is determined by viewers, by you, forum participants, and you can vote using the media Science Stand Up tab on our website. You'll be able to vote today in 4 hours from now, so that is starting at 6 p.m. Moscow time. That is noon Brasilia time, 8:30 p.m. New Delhi time, 11 p.m. Beijing time, and 5 p.m. Pretoria time. Make sure you support the speaker you like. Without any further hesitation, let's watch the first video, and it is from Brazil, from Dagon Manuel Ribeiro.
Hello everyone, my name is Dagon Ribeiro. I'm PhD in biotechnology and biodiversity. I'm from Brazil, and no, I'm not coming to just talk about football or samba. Maybe about caipirinha, but you understand. I came to talk about biotechnology and the biotechnology that I learned and I want to explain to the world. One thing that's kind of mystery thing. Sometimes when I was studying, my grandmother doesn't know what's biotechnology, so I think, this old people doesn't know. After I discovered that my mother doesn't know. Right now, I'm a graduate in biotechnology and I have a PhD in biotechnology, and I know that even my friends doesn't know what's biotechnology. So we have a big problem. Oh, I have a big problem because I have information that no one knows what's there. So because this, I come here to explain what is biotechnology. For me, it's a big problem that I think every day how I can explain what is biotechnology in the world. Maybe sometime in the school, the people will learn and they understand the big responsibility that this science have today, right now. So this is my history. I have a graduation in biotechnology, I PhD in biotechnology, and I know that I passed all my life explaining what is biotechnology for all people. Sometimes I'm in the bar with my friends, they what you do? I'm a lawyer, I'm an entrepreneurship, I'm a doctor, my medicine. And what you are? Oh, I'm a biotechnologist, and have the science in the table, and no one know how comment, and this is my life. I already know that I will front all my life about that. We can define biotechnology in every part of organism, life organism, or part of them to do a product or service. So if you look around, you have a lot of biotechnology. We can have a lot of example of could be biotechnology, but one thing that I love to say that biotechnology is kind of more than magic. So you can take sugar and with using microorganism yeast, Saccharomyces cerevisiae, you can convert in cachaça. Sugar in cachaça. This is biotechnology, or you can say magic too. About the biotechnology products, we have a list of products that everyone knows. We can say the very expected vaccine for COVID-19 is a biotechnology product. We have biotechnologists doing this kind of work. We have the transgenic plants that increase a lot of the production in the world. We can have a lot of countless medicine that using biotechnology process, and even the DNA test, you know who your father. So in the Star Wars, when Darth Vader say, "Luke, I'm your father," Luke could be say, "Oh, so let's do a DNA test." It's a biotechnology process. We could keep in here talking about biotechnology, but my mission here is just to be like a piece of things. You see that is one thing that everywhere around you, and sometimes we don't know. And I want to say it's a pleasure to be here. Like for me, BRICS is a really group that can make a big change in the world, because this I'm with the world inside me. So I'm from Brazil, the BRICS have South Africa. Right now I'm living in Mozambique. So we have India, Russia, and China. Almost half of the planet live in these countries. Because this I understand that this kind of knowledge of biotechnology and what I do, that's low-cost biotechnology that everyone can understand and can practice and can prove. This for me is the future of the world. We have all the things in our hands. And when I say that our thing in our hands, that I'm saying about the microbiology. And one thing that's everywhere is microorganism. And with microorganism is a perfect tools to change the world. To end this conversation, I want to say a history about our planet and how we can save the planet. We start a long time ago when we come back again, all the things together is Pangea time. So every life doesn't exist yet. The molecules is working and something is happening in the sea. Because the sun and the water and the molecules that already exist, we start with algae. Microalgae, and this is what the world starts. We are here because that. We are keeping here because of that. And we go to the future if you use that. You say about microorganisms, you say bacteria, yeast, fungi. But the special microorganism is microalgae. And this is producing oxygen. I don't know if you can feel. Free oxygen. Like pure oxygen that's maintained all the words work. After 10 years studying biotechnology, today I decided to become other thing because no one knows biotechnology. I will keep talk about technology, but right now I'm an entrepreneur. It's much elegant and everyone knows entrepreneur. And what I do in my entrepreneur, biotechnology, and with microalgae. This microalgae could be a solution because we have a lot of kinds of problems in the world. One problem in agriculture is that almost all agriculture in the world is based in chemical inputs. And we want to change this to biological inputs. One more time, it's a pleasure to be here. For me, I really love the world. And for me, I'm from Brazil. I already passed in South Africa and in Russia, and I'm waiting to invite to visit China and India. In our country, we have microbiology, we have biotechnology, we can develop products together, and we don't lose this chance, don't lose this opportunity, because we know the future is not chemical future. It's not like science future with like robots and everything. The future is green. And is not more green than microalgae. Thank you very much.
Yes, what can be greener than that? Thank you very much, Dagon. And our next video is from South Africa, from Hercules Combring.
Hi, my name is Hercules Combring. I'm from South Africa. I'm a PhD candidate and deeply passionate about artificial intelligence and its application in normal day-to-day life. Artificial intelligence and machine learning and these things might seem like new concepts and all of these buzzwords are flying around. But in reality, they've been with us for quite a long time. In fact, if you have a cell phone and you Google anything, an internet recommender system is used to filter through a lot of information, use its learning about what you have clicked and liked in the past, and makes a decision that is completely artificial, that couldn't be done without the use of machine learning and artificial intelligence. My research specifically focuses on artificial intelligence in the education setting. But this work can be applied to other sectors such as healthcare, economics, and finance. So what do I mean when I say artificial intelligence? Well, artificial intelligence is a mathematical and computational way that uses mathematics and computers and processes in order to mimic human-like behavior. Let me give you an example. Let's take the example of Facebook. If you go onto Facebook sometimes, a pop-up comes up and recommends a new friend to you. You might not know this person from a bar of soap, but this particular person might have similar interests to you, like this, you share the same movies or share the same music interests. And thus this could be a potential match in terms of your likeness and that person's likeness. Now, it's not like Facebook is trying to matchmake everyone and create new pathways for relationships. I do think it's important that we still, date human beings and have social interaction with human beings if you want to do something. But this is an example of how machine learning is used in order to learn from us, our behaviors, and how we do things. The first group or classifications of machine learning technologies relate to vision or computer vision. This is where a computer takes images or pictures, puts it in a computer readable format, meaning in a way that the computer can actually understand what it is seeing in some way or shape or form, and transforms it to perform a very specific task. A good example is the one that you can see on the screen right now, where a computer vision algorithm augmented with a clustering algorithm groups people into different boxes. So the computer is able to, in real time, identify what is human and what is not. The second set of applications relate to text and language. If you look at Google Translate or Grammarly, those are examples of natural language processing algorithms that use text, features, and language to be able to perform certain tasks. The third set of applications deal with movement, where you have an actual robot moving through space and time. A good example of this are self-driving cars and the technologies that go into them. The last set of applications have to deal with decision making in real time. This one is a little bit tricky to conceptualize, but if you bear with me, we can figure it out together. Let's take the example of a Roomba. Roombas aren't common in South Africa, but in other parts of the world they are. A Roomba is a tiny little device that moves through your house that cleans your floors. Now let's say the Roomba is faced with an obstacle, something like a ball or a chair. Should it go left, right, reverse, go around the object? These choices lie with the machine, and each scenario looks different. So for example, it would be easy in this example to turn left if the ball is in front of you. But it would be a lot harder to turn right because there's a wall. On the other hand, in another example, if there's a chair, it would just be easier to go through it. But you might get stuck. So the Roomba has to have some kind of algorithm or some kind of technology inside it to learn as time goes on. If it does certain things and it does it well, it can get rewarded. Very similar to how a human being does things. And if it does something that is not favorable, it can get punished. We can build those same thinking patterns into machines so that a machine can get smarter over time. Now, up until this point, I've mentioned some machine learning things in isolation, meaning I spoke about these concepts as standalone things. But in reality, where machine learning is currently and where it's going is it integrates all of these technologies at the same time. And remember what I said? Artificial intelligence is the collective noun for all of these technologies in isolation. I do research in higher education, and what I'm trying to do is establish a framework from within universities and online systems where technology can learn about the needs of the students. Because frankly, we don't have enough people to look out for our students. In fact, it has been shown in several studies that up to 20% of students will never seek academic advice before they drop out. And that is a result of them not understanding or navigating the system. Now, isn't there a way for us to build a system that can understand the needs of our users? One thing we should never do is see artificial intelligence as the Wild West of science. A lot of companies and businesses have in the past implemented algorithms too soon with detrimental effects. And so it's important to always consider the fundamental theoretical underpinnings of what they mean and what they represent. Like I said in the beginning, these concepts aren't new, but the application of them at the scale at which they are applied, that is. And this is just part of the fourth and potentially the fifth industrial revolution. I think it's important that we remember our humanity. And I also think it's important that we never stop engaging with these critical concepts. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much, Hergulas. Say hello to your cat. And we continue now with the next video from India by Indu Joshi.
With the advent of biometric identification system UIDAI in India, fingerprint-based authentications are used for a gamut of applications ranging from opening a bank account, buying a new SIM card, or to receive subsidies from the government. However, incidents have been reported which emphasize on the challenges of fingerprint systems on rural population. Hello everyone, I'm Indu Joshi. I'm a PhD student at the Computer Science Department, Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi. Today, I want to share my research on improving fingerprint matching of rural population. BRICS nations constitute approximately 41% of the total world population, with majority of its population residing in villages and involved in occupations involving excessive manual work. This degrades the quality of the fingerprints, leads to scars and cuts, and in turn leads to poor quality fingerprints. Standard fingerprint matching systems are often benchmarked on Western population, due to which they achieve unsatisfactory performance on rural Indian population. This often creates an unpleasant experience for rural population during security and other civilian applications. Though the challenges in fingerprint matching of rural population have been identified, no solution is proposed so far which is specifically targeted to improve the performance on rural population. Towards this, as a part of my PhD research work, I propose a fingerprint enhancement model which improves the quality of the fingerprint images of rural population and in turn provides improved fingerprint matching performance.
Okay, so let's discuss that what are the challenges which are incurred while matching fingerprints of rural population. Firstly, there could be dry or wet fingertips, due to which the contrast between the ridges and the valleys of the fingerprint images will be poor. Secondly, there could be poor skin conditions as a result of the manual work. There could be creases, scars, or even injuries. Thirdly, there could be cosmetics that could have been applied on the fingertips, such as henna, or sometimes subjects may interact with the fingerprint sensors in an uncontrolled way. Either there could be too much pressure or there could be too less pressure while giving the fingerprint. Now let's discuss how does these challenges translate to fingerprint matching systems. While trying to match two fingerprints, fingerprint matching systems compare ridge features such as ridge endings and ridge bifurcations between the two fingerprints. Due to the factors mentioned before, poor quality fingerprints with unclear ridge structure are obtained for rural population. As a result, incorrect ridge features are obtained, which in effect adversely affect fingerprint matching performance. To address these limitations of standard fingerprint matching systems, we propose a fingerprint enhancement model. A fingerprint enhancement model is targeted to improve fingerprint ridge structure by removing background noise and predicting missing ridge information due to scars and cuts or application of cosmetics like henna. The shown figure represents the proposed fingerprint enhancement model, FingerGAN. FingerGAN learns the transformation from a poor quality input fingerprint image to a good quality fingerprint image with the help of over 10,000 examples exhibiting similar transformations. At the core of FingerGAN lies a sophisticated artificial intelligence inspired architecture called Generative Adversarial Network or GAN. GAN is a large architecture that extracts different salient information or features ingrained in the image. However, we observe that many of the features learned by GAN are redundant. We adapt the features such that Important features have higher activations and redundant features have lower activations. Due to this, better quality enhanced images are generated by the proposed finger GAN and improved feature extraction and matching performance is obtained as shown in the next figure. Left column in the figure shows the matching scores obtained by the standard fingerprint matching system on the original rural fingerprint images, while the right column shows the matching scores obtained on the enhanced images generated by the proposed finger GAN method. Viewers can see that the proposed method predicts the missing ridge information and generates fingerprint images with improved ridge valley clarity, due to which higher match scores are obtained. All the experiments in this research are conducted on a public and a private database of fingerprints of rural Indian population. However, in my understanding, this work is extremely relevant and can be easily adapted to the rural population of BRICS countries. Thank you. This research is partly sponsored by the Raman Sharma Fellowship.
Thank you very much, Indu. Great job. And now we continue with the next video from China by Zhao Changchen.
Vital signs usually refer to a group of physiological parameters that maintain the basic activities of life. Vital signs mainly include the following four parameters: body temperature, heart rate, respiration rate, and blood pressure. These parameters help to assess a person's physical health, provide clues to possible diseases, and indicate the progress in recovery. Heart rate is the most important parameter in vital signs. It plays a very important role and is the basis for doctors to judge the disease. The common methods used in vital signs monitoring are contact or intrusion. When measuring, the device requires the body to make direct contact and transmit signals through a conductive patch electrodes and wires. The advantages of contact measurement are stable and low noise, but it also has many disadvantages. In infant intensive care unit, premature infants are unsuitable for contact measurements because the baby's skin is very fragile, so contact devices will do harm to their skin. There are also some situations in which contact measurements are not appropriate even for adults, such as people with skin allergies, burn victims. In recent years, with the development of computer vision, the measurement of vital signs has gradually changed from contact to non-contact. There are many physiological signs in the body that can be captured by visual sensors, such as heart rate signals in skin color changes caused by blood flow. One of the most medical techniques that can extract physiological parameters is remote photoplethysmography. Ordinary digital camera can be used to shoot the skin surface of human body, and the change of skin color caused by blood flow can deduce physiological parameters such as heart rate and blood pressure. So skin color changes are consistent with the heart rate, known as RPVG signals. Remote RPVG is an extension of traditional PVG from contact to non-contact. Non-contact PVG has great potential applications in medical treatment, sports supervision, and assisted driving. First, in medical field, people began to explore the feasibility of using remote PPG to measure physiological indicators such as heart rate and respiration rate. This makes the measurement more flexible and convenient instead of relying on the contact device. Especially for premature infants in ICU, this technique has significant potential for application. Not only in the medical field, RPPG has a great potential for application in many other fields. For fitness exercise, RPPG can measure heart rate without any restraint in exercise and improve the exercise efficiency. We can also use RPPG to monitor the driver's physiological indicator without uncomfortableness. Once the driver appears fatigued driving, drunk driving, and they will immediately get a warning.
Thank you very much, Chan Cheng. It's a pity we could not hear the beginning and the end of the video. It looks like that's the format the video came in, and yeah, just sorry about that. We now continue with the next video by Anton Dolganov from Russia.
Hello, do you know that according to World Health Organization statistics, every 10th person in the world suffers from retinal or optic nerve disease? In the long run, 1 in 4 of them may completely lose sight due to a medical error. The main reasons for medical errors are: the first, subjective perception of the patient's diagnostic results; the second, in the course of observation, a large amount of data is generated about the patients, which the person is simply not able to analyze. The third, very often it's not possible to collect a complete anamnesis of the patient due to the limited time of admission. My name is Alexander Gorobets. I am CEO of Faraday Lab. We offer a solution for these problems: AI tonometry. is Smart Record of Patient for Ophthalmologists. This platform is a web application that is adapted for mobile devices. We offer automatic analysis tools of the results of measurement of intraocular pressure, photos of optical coherence tomography, and maps of visual fields. These tools are machine learning models. By objectively analyzing a large amount of data about the patient's condition since the discovery of the disease, our artificial intelligence gives the doctor personalized recommendation for each specific case. The platform works in a certain way. The doctor performs diagnostics and receives results that need to be interpreted. To do this, the doctor uploads photos of the results to the platform, which sends them to the server, where our algorithms analyze them and return the results and the optimal treatment strategy to the doctor. Let's take a closer look at the example of measuring intraocular pressure using the Maklakoff method. Principle of method is that the doctor puts weights of different mass on the patient's eye and prints the resulting imprints on a sheet of paper. Then uses a special ruler to measure the resulting imprints. Using our platform, the doctor takes a photo of the sheet with imprints and uploads it to the platform. Our artificial intelligence finds the imprints, marks them in the eyes and the masses. After the specialist confirms the marking correctness, our algorithms predicted the resulting intraocular pressure as well as the quality of the procedure. Prior to this, there was no quality assessment for this method. At the moment, our solution is unique and hasn't analogous in the world. Why a similar solution didn't exist before? We highlight the following reasons. The first, it's necessary to collect and analyze big data to create machine learning models. Research institutes of eye disease in Moscow and Samara help us in this. Secondly, before that, only point solutions were offered for analyzing a single method of diagnostic. However, a reliable diagnosis can only be made with an integrated analysis. And the third, various machine learning models were tested for a long time. We have multiplier reduced their development time due to the method of project work in startups. When creating our artificial intelligence for the 1 year, we tested more than 30 different models which were trained on more than 20,000 real imprints. We made a research that involved 41 ophthalmologists in Russia. This research has shown that our platform works 66% more accurately and 90% faster than human. This saving time will allow doctors to collect a more detailed anamnesis and provide clinic to accept more patients due to automation of the process. Today, our platform is already used by practicing ophthalmologists, and we receive grateful feedback. My speech lasted about 5 minutes. During this time, 95 people in the world completely lost their sight. If our platform was used worldwide, we would save 22 of them from complete blindness.
Well, that was not a video by Anton Dolganov, it was a video by Alexander Gorbet, so thank you very much, Alexander, for what you do and for the video. And the next one is Anton Dolganov from Russia.
Hello everyone, my name is Anton. I'm a young scientist from ЮУрГУ-ТВ University, and today I would like to talk about the most beautiful math equation, machine learning, and biomedical signals. From school, one can nominate the Pythagorean theorems because everyone learned about it, and there are like dozen ways to prove it. If you learn more about calculus, you will find Euler's identity beautiful because it combines the simple numbers like 1 and 0 with more complex ones. Then in physics there is mass-energy equivalence, which opens a way into nuclear physics. Also there is a logistic map, which can be used to a population modeling in a non-linear way. But for me, the most beautiful math equation is quite general, and it is y equals f of x. We can interpret it as follows. X is your input, data you have, assets you have. Y is the expected output of this data. And f is the transformation function that helps you reach the output. And this equation can be used not only from the pure math point of view, but you can see almost any process in the world has this function. For example, in film industry, X can be anything from director to screenplay to actors to effects you can make. And you can make different goals. For example, make either best movie or maybe highest grossing movie. For the best movie, you need maybe focus more on the script, which can tell a very appealing story, and actors who can communicate this story to the audience. For the highest grossing movie, you should maybe focus on a big brand, so a lot of people can watch this movie, and some cool special effects, so people will have to go to the theater to see it. Now, machine learning. Machine learning comes as an alternative to a traditional programming, when we have data and some hard-coded rules F, and we expect the machine computer to give some answer. But world is such a complex place, and you can't find a hard-coded rule for everything. Because of that came the idea is to let computer himself find these rules using the data and expected answers. And depending on how what do you expect as the output, there are different machine learning tasks. For example, there is unsupervised learning, where you provide computer with just data and some basic information. For example, find me two distinct groups of data here. It can be done in such task called clustering. Also, there is supervised learning, where you provide computer with more data. For example, if you expect infinitely many types of answers, for example, you can find price depending on the area of the house, and you need to find intermediate values. You can build a curve, which is called regression curve. Or you can have a few possible answers. For example, you need to distinguish cats between dogs. And for that, you need to know some decision function which can separate these two groups. These are the classification tasks. In my work, I use analysis of biomedical signals. And as for whys, we had two types of people, healthy ones and ones suffering from arterial hypertension. As the data, we have records of electrocardiogram, which is a very informative way to obtain information about human body functioning. And speaking about Fs, there are some simple models which can have 1 or 2 parameters, and there are complex deep neural networks which can have up to 1,000 or even millions of parameters. In my work, I decided to focus more on what data I give to the machine learning algorithm, because as you can see, the ECG signal have different parts, different informative features, but not all of them can be suitable for a particular task. In order to find ones most suitable, I use so-called genetic programming paradigm, which basically based on the evolution idea. And through the several rounds of selection, evolution, transformation, I find the most informative sets of features for this particular task. These results were quite good and were worthy of publication in very good journal and become foundation of my PhD thesis. After that, I decided to use the same paradigm for different tasks. There were tasks of predicting of arterial pressure using non-intrusive methods, so it was a pure regression task, and these proposals got me a grant from a President's Council. And then another interesting area of application is athletes' fitness level, which combined regression and classification task. This idea got me support from the foundation FACIE. So there are a lot of interesting tasks for me in the future to solve. Some final remarks: know your X, know data you have, know what you can do with it, understand the Fs, so it won't be a black box, because you need to explain how you get this result. And finally, find such whys that are important and that can help make the world a better place. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Anton. And we have just one more video to go in the science stand-up battle, and it is also from Russia, from Maria Gordeeva.
Good afternoon for everybody. Oh, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thanks, good. My name is Gordeeva Maria. I am a Deputy Head of International Relations Department in Kansas State Power Engineering University. And at the same time, my mind requires scientific researches and profound discoveries. That's why I dive
In exciting world of science on the Water Resources and Aquaculture Department. What could be in a clear drop of water? At first glance, nothing. But drop on the glass leave a mark. And in the microscope, you look at it, you can see the beautiful world of protozoa. On the other hand, one drop of water is negligible for the whole ocean, as is one scientist for the whole world of science. If the drops come together, we can already fill a pool where we can grow valuable aquaculture facilities in the future, thus solving a number of environmental and economic problems. For example, the maintenance of biodiversity when cultivating the redbook species, ensuring the country's food security and solving the problem of fish shortage. Similarly, scientists united into a well-coordinated team can make a significant contribution to science. That's why we all have our own niche in science, but together we are going to one goal. For effective reproduction and cultivation of environmentally friendly products require physical and chemical knowledge to assess water quality. Biological for proper filling and maintenance of the culture of the active sludge in biofilter. For calculation of the feeding. For aquaponics. Microbiological to determine the epizootic state of fish. Technical for the design and maintenance of closed water supply systems. pH is currently used as a standard indicator for the cultivation of valuable fish species. It is known from the scientific literature that there is a link between pH and redox potential. Redox potential is a measure of the chemical activity of elements or their compounds in reversible chemical processes associated with changes in ion charge in solutions. Positive redox potential values
indicate oxidative conditions and negative values indicate reducing conditions. The redox potential value is determined by the presence of ions, oxidant elements capable of receiving electrons, reducing elements capable of transmitting electrons. In addition, oxygen is the most important oxidizer and organic matter, and certain bacteria are the reducing agent. Redox potential researches date back to the mid-20th century. Interest in redox potential research has not faded in the 21st century. In our view, redox potential is a more promising indicator. And first of all, it is an easily verifiable instrument. Numerous measurements of the redox potential of the natural waters of the Tatarstan Republic revealed that 1 pH unit corresponds approximately to 59 mV of redox potential. This makes it possible to consider the redox potential as a more sensitive indicator than pH. Thus, devote time to respond if need to improve water quality. How? For example, to reduce cultivation density, to increase runtime, to change pH. Experiments have confirmed the sensitivity of the redox potential to water quality decline on water-closed systems. We identified areas of comfort, oppression and death for the valuable fish species. So, let's remember together and bring back life to a measure like redox potential. And together we will control water quality and quickly respond to water changes. Water is all of our lives. Without water, everyone would have died. The water of the planet, hold on, let clean rains save you. We will not leave you, dear, in the whole world. We will save you our water.
Thank you, Maria, for showing us the video. This was the final video of Science Stand-Up Battle. Please vote for the performance that you enjoyed most of all in the Media tab at the forum website. You can do so starting from 6 p.m. Moscow time today. And in a couple of minutes we will continue our work in parallel sessions, so please stay in the same rooms where you are now. Don't log out. See you soon. And now we continue with the presentations by BRICS Young Innovators. The rules are the same as yesterday. You have 12 minutes, followed by no more than one brief question from each adjudicator and a brief answer to it. Here are some project requirements. The projects must be innovative at the pre-market stage. The project must be a relevant minimum for 3 out of 5 BRICS countries. The volume of sales of the project presented must not exceed $100,000 for the last calendar year. The participants should be 30 years of age. The presentation must be individual. You can use paper or other notes or cues. And we have 3 sections: ecology, material science, and application of artificial intelligence in the areas of ecology and material science. And our first presentation today is from Brazil, from Dagon Manuel Ribeiro.
Hello everyone, are you listening?
Oh yes.
Can you see the presentation?
Not yet, but I think we'll see it in a minute.
Are you seeing?
Almost there. Yes, we see it. You can go ahead and start.
All right, so good morning, good afternoon, good night to all my colleagues from the BRICS. My name is Dago Manuel Ribeiro. I'm a PhD in biotechnology and biodiversity, and I'm a CEO of Biotech Land. And I have the pleasure to present today the Biotech Land Integrated System project. So going on. So about the situation of the world. So we know that the people you're growing. So you know that in 2050 we have more than 9 billion people in the world. This is making the increase of demand of agricultural production. The people need to eat and the people need to use energy. And we are facing the water scarcity and the climate change. So it's a kind of equation that we don't have solved yet. So we need to think new innovation to can do that, to can improve our agricultural production. And think about that, I'm with biotechnology PhD and with my friend that is a PhD student agronomy, we started our startup Biotech Land. That's agriculture and biotechnology startup. So we are in the agribusiness, our target markets, and if you can choose a persona, we choose the farmers. We want to really help the farmers around the world. So we have like 5 persona, that is a Brazilian, Russian, Indian, Chinese, and South African farmer. And we really believe that sustainable agriculture is our passport to the future. Or you can do that, or we can't grow the future to like our green future with food to everyone. And when you see agriculture, you have a lot of kinds of problems. Like we have a soil desertification, we have a disease and pests is changing every year and making resistant to the technique that we have already. We have a resisting climate change. So we have a lot of changes in the weather that's happening everywhere. And we have the high cost of inputs that many is paying dollars. So probably is really costly to everyone. And to resolve this problem, use in biotechnology, using microalgae. Microalgae is a microorganism, is a unicellular microorganism that can make photosynthesis. And they have like amino acids, macro and micronutrients, they have phytohormones that can help all the agriculture. We know about the science that the using of microalgae can increase the carbon in the soil. So using microalgae, they is keeping living in the soil and capturing carbon during the cultivation. Beyond this, you can have a great availability of zinc, iron, copper. So we improve the soil quality when using microorganisms as microalgae. We can promote resistant plants. We have about the research that we can reduce like fungi and some other disease because make the plants more strong. Today the algae is using to human food because it makes strong the immunology. So it's happening at the same with the plant. With good food, the plant grow strong. And with good soil and good strong plants, we can increase the productivity. So is our way to try to build a sustainable agriculture using biological inputs based in microalgae that is more green organisms in the earth. So we can do in large scale. So as I say, usually today the microalgae industry is really focusing human food or biofuels. So we are changing this application to using in agriculture, and we are already the first biofactory specializing in agriculture use in Brazil. So we are already working operation and growing algae in Brazil. Our MVP, our first product that we are expanding and already selling is a Primafert, is a gallon with 1 billion of microalgae that can be used into agricultural production. That is aligned to the SDG, the Sustainable Development Goals with UN, from like sustainable agriculture, combating climate change, and improve the life in Earth. We have already some early adopters. So we started this year, our company. So we are still like seeking about our products and partners with testing and using our technology. And we know that after we start next year, we have some cases to show more results about our work. And this is what I'm doing. But after we talk with farmers, we understand that our products, the using of biotechnology and microbiology is just a beginning, because we have a lot of other problem and difficulty that we need to face. As I say, water, we need food, we need to grow better rate food. The farmer wants electricity, they want to cook food, they wanted more job, and they want more money. And we decided to do more than just a new biofertilizer biological input. So because this is, we are presenting here the Biotech Lane Integrated System. It's a kind of system that works in the chicken industry in Brazil, so we can do it in the biotechnology way. So we have an integration company that we are, biotechnology, that offer technology, input to technical stance, all the marketing, branding, and we are helping with sales. And we have the integrated partner that could be all farmer in all parts of the world, that we are teaching using our technology to have a kind of point of distribution. And the objective that the partner, we receive a commission for the productivity and the sales that they will help us to do. It's a kind of a partnership to using biotechnology. So in this biotech lane, we have a Sancho farm that's direct gain is a production of the microalgae in the farm that is our partner. So they have the biofertilizer to selling is our farts, so they can distribute and selling to a region near them, the producer. And we call that this is the heart of the system, because these make profitable, because these we are selling already. So these are our first product, because this we believe about that. And indirect gain, that we have reduction of inputs, chemical inputs, and we have a continuous carbon dioxide capturing. So this is really good for all the other world. We are introducing in our biotechnology project the waste to energy. Is a kind of a really old technology, but it's not so used around the world. This is biogas. So we can usually this is not to be really profit, but to help the farmer to have gas and the biofertilizer to feed other system that is working in biotech lane. So we are offering to biogas, production of biogas. We are offering to the air to energy, the construction of the wines, because we see that have a lot of parts of farmer that doesn't have electricity. So it's kind of the problem that they need. So we really want to arrive and offer all this technologies in the partnership to the farmer and all our knowledge. We are implementing energy to food is agroecology. I don't know if everyone knows about this kind of ways to produce, but it's kind of respecting the ecosystem. And we understand that all life in the earth is important. So we have the soil, we have the microbiota, we have the plants, we have all the plants that have interaction with other plants. So we can do this kind of a new way to produce every year, like the kind of agroecology and the mix with permaculture in the tropic agronomy. And it's a kind of new way to produce them. So, and together with this, we understand that we need with our, like, be a really structure, like not so big, but we can mix every technology that we believe is important to improve our biotech land. So we want to make a kind of education system inside, and all the biogas and the wines and the microalgae using to education of biodiversity, biotechnology, and bioeconomy. That's one thing that's you keeping growing the next years. So because this we believe a lot in this kind of this knowledge must to be improved. And the last thing that we offer is a kind of biotech markets. So in the same property that we're installing all the things, we have a small market that we can use to selling the products, like even fertilizer or the products that we grow in agroforestry. We use the biogas to make a kind of creative cuisine to cooking things, and the selling and make all education and all the marketing in the same property, our partner property. It's kind of our biotech lane that we want to build. So is our, if we word that we get, if you get, is possible to assemble a new unit in Mozambique. That's where I says I live in right now, and it will be our first model to replicate to other countries. So we understand that we create a kind of mixed technology to create our biotech lanes. Our business are already like our model. So we have two kinds of earning money. So we have direct selling. That's this one thing. That's our MVP. This is our working. We are like few user, but we are growing. And the second that we are like offer a project is a kind of partnership agreement that you use our biotech lane to dragon system problem. We have a few interesting this kind of products, and we really believe that we can make a big change with this. So our forecast for the next years is like growing user and partners. And we believe that mixing this kind of technology, we can help to create a new way to produce food and energy. It's our people, I'm my partner, and our student help us in this project. And thank you very much for your attention, and come build that future together with Biotech Lanes. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm free to answer any question. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much, Dagon. It was very interesting. And now questions from our adjudicators. Do we have a question from Mr. Antonio Gomes Souza Filho from Brazil also?
Oh yeah, good morning to everyone. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. Oh, thank you, Dagon, for the presentation. So could you comment a little bit about your competitors?
Yes. About the biological inputs, so we have some working. We have more famous like bacteria, fungi, like nitrogen fixed and Bacillus thuringiensis. In the microalgae, we have some company in the US, one in Texas, and one in south of Spain that use microalgae to agriculture. But our big difference is that we are working with like low-cost biotechnology. So we are domain kind of production of a low cost, and we are going to the partner agreement. So our competitor have a high cost biotechnology with those photobioreactor, then one plant. So our product will be always cheaper than other competitors. But in Brazil, we don't have any competitor selling microalgae. Probably in other BRICS country doesn't. I don't know other competitor that's using this kind of business model that we are planning to use.
Thank you very much. We do have a question from Russia, from Ms. Nina Yanikina.
Yes, Dagan, hi. Thank you very much for the presentation. My question is, what are the 3 core competences of your team that will provide you the most competitive advantage in achieving all the ambitious goals that you
So,
I mean, the competences of the team, of those who are inside the project, who we have seen on the slide.
All right. So the partners, the starter is just me and my partner is a PhD student in agronomy. So they are specialized in the agroforestry and the kind of renewable way, sustainable way to produce food. So the agro thing is really good guy. And about the biotechnology and the scale up and the bioreactors is me. I work with these more than 10 years. As I say, in biotechnology and even PhD, I work in my graduation and master and the PhD. I work with like different parts of the microalgae industry, and because these are really like I know what my other people growing algae are doing. And I know like they are doing like high cost biotechnology, and I'll always take it other way because like I understand the reality that we live in Brazil. So we need to understand to be real, this technology, we need to like to be able to create a low cost biotechnology. So I domain every part of the microalgae growing, and my partner is part agro. One thing, like we are in the next year, probably we are looking for some partners, probably older partner with like a white hair, because in agro the people are more conservative. We are young, so this is kind of our big trouble that we face. Is a kind of selling and like to no respecting the agro. But about this business that is agriculture and biotechnology, we are really we have the competence to grow every year.
Thank you very much,
Dagan.
Dagan. Let's try to keep the answers a little bit more compact, please. Do we have a question from India, from Dr. Vipin Kumar? We cannot hear you. Could you check the mic? Yeah, now we can.
Thank you very much for a very nice presentation. It seems that you do have a variety of dots. You want to work on renewable energy, reducing a chemical load, the biofertilizers. So task is huge. How you would accomplish this task within a very short period in Mozambique, what you said?
So we know that we are the game for the long way. So we are in the agro. So like we are testing right now in beans. So we need 4 months to see the results. Right now we want to reduce. So when I selling to our farmers, we just suggest that we reduce the use of a chemical like 10%, and we are growing every year. We don't expect to grow a lot in the first year, because like the agro time is a kind of different time of like digital time or other things, but our objective is to be like growing and gain the authority in this kind of theme, because we are the first to do that. So because this we believe a lot is not to resolve right now, of course, but we are already in testing. We have a user, we have interesting people. We are having like even some guy from India called me to try make some partnership because they grow algae and they want to use our formulation. So it's kind of we keeping growing. We don't have the traction that we want right now, but it's kind of that step by step.
Thank you very much. Great. We do have a question from China, from Dr. Jenny Guo.
Yes. Dagan, is actually for me very a very ambitious project. I mean, for your presentation. My question is, who will be your main financial supporters according to this very huge project?
So right now we are in bootstrap, how say that we are our money. We are in the one program in Brazil that Startup Connect that give it to us like kind of scholarship to going. And as I say, our plan is based in low cost technology. So when you say like it's ambitious, but when you focus and understand how to grow microorganisms like microalgae, how to make biogas, you can see that a lot of knowledge is kind of not so high cost. So we keeping like in the first year, we starting our bootstrap. We are like make our clients and everything, and probably in soon as possible we probably get some investor to better the traction and everything. So we know that when we go until we can, But sometime when we see, we have a lot of like some people already be interested to invest in our company. So, but we really highly we can say smart money, that was something for that already in the agro field that can help more us. So we are in this. We are going some, like if you earn the price from here, we can like have more like some months working our bootstrap. So we are going this way. We are, but soon or later, we probably get some investor to be partner of us.
Great, thank you very much. And we also have a question from South Africa, from Mr. Vusis Kosana. He asked me to read it. So is there some, a similar question actually, is there some kind of financial modeling and costing for the technical economics to take product to market?
We are living, we are growing every day, learning every day. Already we have like our production cost to production and capacity is quite really cheap. So we are selling, but we don't have volume to selling. We need to like grow a volume to make our company profitable. But technical saying, we are domining the technology to grow and selling and to use in the agro. So we hope in soon or later we get profit. Or if we don't, we need to like, as I say, I need to make it some traction with investment to grow. But what we need right now is volume of clients that are using our technology. And we are really optimistic about that because feedback that we receive is really good about our product and the perspective. And thank you for the question, all the questions.
Thank you very much, Dagon. And we are moving on to the next presentation, and it is by Ilya Menshikov from Russia.
Hi.
Hello.
Can you see my presentation?
I'm sure we will in a second. Yes, we can see.
Is it okay?
You can start. Yes, please.
Yes, thank you for a kind introduction. And today I'm going to speak about the environmentally friendly explosion-proof adsorbed natural gas storage systems, who will meet the future ecological requirements. So it's not a secret, it's well known that oil-based resources and natural coal have a great negative impact on our environment due to pollution of air, of water, and our soil. So we need to find new types of energy which are of great current interest. So we need to convert our energy to clean energy. Fortunately, natural gas can be used for this purpose, and it's this type of energy is accessible energy. It can be used for gas-powered vehicles, it can be used for gas-powered technologies, gas industry, and it has developed infrastructure. But the main obstacle on the way of becoming of this type of energy of the first in global energy balance is its physical chemical properties. Unfortunately, we can't use the natural gas as liquid, for example, as gasoline or diesel. And that's why we need to apply different technologies. For example, compressed natural gas. We use special compressor stations and equipment to increase pressures up to 25 megapascals inside the vessel. And we can obtain about 220 cubic meters of gas per cubic meter of the system. If we consider, for example, liquefied natural gas, we have to use a special cryogenic temperatures, very low, about 111 Kelvin. So it is too cold. And these are the disadvantages of these methods. For example, we need high energy cost for refueling. These systems suffer from fire and explosive hazards. So for LNG, we have to use expensive cryogenic tanks. Regasification systems, energy costs for liquefactions are very high. We have losses of gas and so on. And if we speak, for example, for gas for consumers, we can, of course, finds the pipeline natural gas, but we can say that these systems have enormous ecological load, and today building of gas transport pipelines for small consumers is economically unprofitable. And what we have to do? So our solution is adsorb natural gas systems. So what is ANG? So the key of the technology is the use of special nanoporous materials adsorbent in gas storage systems with high activity to natural gas molecules, with high activity to methane. And this system works on the principle of physical chemistry of adsorption. So if you want to understand how it works, just imagine the sponge which adsorbs water. So, and what we can find from this technology, we can see if we compare the ANG with compressed natural gas without adsorbent, this solid lighting is ANG and this is CNG, we can see that at the same pressure, for example, at 50 bars, we can achieve about 200 cubic meters of gas per cubic meter of the system. This is a very high storage capacity and energy capacity of this system. And we can speak that this system effective, that we can use, for example, for gasification or for vehicle applications, which is very important for BRICS countries and for all of the world. So the technological features, reduction of pressure inside the storage system, so we can improve energy efficiency of refueling process, increase gas storage capacity compared to compressed gas, so we can extend refueling interval and low energy consumption. So, and gas molecules, which is very important, are kept in a bound state inside the adsorbent pores, so we can increase fire and explosion safety of the system. And what is very important, the very important thing, because these systems don't suffer from the negative effects such as for LNG or CNG, we can use them in the all methods for gasification. For example, we can use them for onboard systems for vehicle applications, as I said, and we know that, for example, India and China are leading countries of using such systems, and Brazil in American region too. We can use them for household storage systems with capacity up to 1,000 of cubic meters of gas at standard temperature and pressure. So we can use them for gas delivery to non-gasified regions, for example, for regions such in Russia and Siberia, or in China or in Brazil, and of course in South Africa. They have launched recently a program of gasification, and this is important for big countries such as ours. And of course we can use, this is absolutely new systems, large strategic gas storages for peak shaving system and reserve gas power system. So, of course, the key of this technology is a special nanoporous material with a tailored porous structure for good working of this system. And these are the examples of the materials which we have designed and developed within our group. This is carbon-based material. It is important to note that these materials are made from biomass, so we can use coconut shells, for example, or rice husk, for example, or sawdust to make these materials with high capacity to natural gas. And these are more based materials, and their functionalization, they can be used, for example, for small powered vehicles. And this is experimental data on the dependence of storage capacity of ANG system with adsorbent and without adsorbent. And you can see that at temperature, for example, 303 Kelvin, we can achieve about 200 cubic meters of gas STP at pressure 5 megapascal. So these materials has advanced storage capacity, flexibility, adsorption cycle stability, and mechanical strength. So, and we used these materials to design and develop absolutely new types of gas storage accumulators. So you can see this equipment in this slide. So it's very important that low operating pressures in comparison, for example, for CNG, provides a possibility to optimize the design of the gas tank and move from awkward cylinder to ergonomic flat adsorber. These are the characteristics of our systems, and we have tested them with success. And I believe that these systems will have a great impact on Chinese, Russian, Brazilian, South African, and Indian automotive industry because of their advantages. And On this slide, you can see first in the world adsorption gas terminal for gasification of consumers in ungasified areas or remote consumers. You can see that it has unstandard form in comparison with common cylinders. It has cubic form. It became possible because of reduction pressure inside the vessel. So you can see here the cell structure for the strength of the whole construction and the adsorbent blocks inside the cells. And you can see that using in the volume about 10 cubic meters, it can carry more than 2,000 cubic meters of gas STP. And so for your understanding, it can cover all requirements of a small village, for example, for 2 months. So it has ergonomic design, energy efficiency, and fire explosion safety. And of course, as I mentioned before, we can cover all kinds of the energy consumption in all areas. For example, we can use small systems for private households, medium system for industrial settlements and construction camps. We can use different means of transport, and we can even use high storage systems for shipping, for remote consumings. And what about a technological chain of the ANG in comparison with its main competitors, such as CNG and LNG? So as you can see, ANG doesn't need any special device or facilities before refueling, such, for example, as for CNG or LNG. Also, it doesn't need any regasification facilities as for LNG. And that's why the conventional cost per cubic meter is much more lower in comparison with the gas for CNG, LNG. So we don't need any energy for gasification, for preparation of gas for this system. We can refuel our system directly from the pipeline gas source. And if you can see, the cost of this system is much more lower in comparison with LNG, and it is a bit equal to CNG, even if we use our carbon material. And this is a small example of ANG terminal application. So we can refuel it from a pipeline gas source, then transport it by use of any means of transport to the gas consuming site. And after that, we can use gas for electricity, for heat energy, and so on. After that, we simply change this system with new one with gas, and this process can be cycled. So this is quite simple technology. And what about business model of our system? So our key activities of our enterprise is R&D, production, industrial consulting, and industrial franchising. So these are our customers. So with growing of our company, we are going to move from B2C sector to B2B sector. Of course, if we speak about B2C, the company, oil gas companies, car owners, gas supply distributors, automotive industry, and private household will be interested in our technologies. And when we speak about B2B, of course, oil and gas, regional distributors, car factories, and so on and so on. So this technology can be useful for all of us in any country. And if you speak, for example, about revenue streams, you can see that we expect them from sales as B2B and B2C, R&D services, consulting, and industrial franchising at further steps of growing with our company, and of course, service. So today our key resources is a team, laboratory, equipment, pilot experimental plant, and knowledge and expertise. So this is our team. So it consists of highly qualified professionals in our field. 3 of us has PhD degree. There are more than 30 years of cumulative experiments of our group, and more than 60 research publications in peer-reviewed journals in the field of energy, material science, and engineering. And we have already fulfilled 7 R&D projects for different industries. So this is the roles of each member of our team, and I can say that it's very highly qualified, and we have great experience for this project. And some words about our projects. So just in 2 weeks, we are going to present our new commercial system, prototype commercial system for cars in the St. Petersburg Gas Forum. So by the end of this year, we will finish our detailed feasibility study for these systems. And I suppose 2022 we will launch a pilot project with automotive transport for adsorbed natural gas with our colleagues, for example, for Gazprom, negotiations with them. And by the 2025, we are going to launch the gasification program for remote settlements and consumers located in Siberia and Far East. We also have negotiations with Novatec company and Gazprom. And this is all. Thank you for your attention.
Yes, thank you very much, Ilya, for a great presentation. Now we move on to the questions. We do not have a question from Brazil. Do we have a question from Russia? Yes, Nina Yanikina, please go ahead and ask it. Could you check the mic,
Sorry,
please? Let's try it once again. Why don't we return to Nina a little later? And now we have a question from India, from Dr. Vipin Kumar.
Yeah, thank you very much for a very, very nice presentation. I really appreciate it. My concern is the safety, because for various activities like the transportation, you have to store a very large volume of gas. So how would you assure the safety of that large, amount storage?
So, as I have said before, our systems use special porous material. So in comparison with CNG, for example, compressed natural gas, or LNG, it's absolutely safe because the molecules of gas, the molecules of methane are in a binder state inside the pores. So there is no bulk gas which can explode, for example. So we have tested these systems with the in a fire pilot plant in Russia, and I can say that even in a fire they don't explode because we have no bulk gas inside the vessel.
Thank you very much. We do not have a question from China, but we do from South Africa, from Mr. Vushis Kosana. Again, he asked me to read it. What has been patented? Is it the nanoporous absorption materials or the design of the storage compartments?
So by this time we have obtained 2 patents on this material, and now we're working on the patentation of the design. But we are going to patent the commercial one. I have demonstrated you the prototypes of these systems with cell structure, and of course the commercial one will be almost the same from the view, but we are preparing patents now for these systems.
Thank you very much. And now let's try again to hear the question asked by Ms. Nina Yanikina from Russia.
Yes, thank you very much. Do you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, good. So Ilya, thank you very much for the presentation. My question is about the one of the last
I'm sorry, I can't hear you, Nina.
What about now? Do you hear me?
Try please.
Yes, so my question is about your long-term vision of the project that you shown on one of the last slides. So what kind of risks do you see in achieving these goals?
So the main risk in achieving, thank you for very interesting question. It's very important. So the main risk in achieving these goals, as I said, is the development of the alternative gasification systems, for example, in Russia. So if you see it, because the news, you can see that, for example, Gazprom company is looking forward for establishing new systems for LNG in Siberia. So if we came earlier, I suppose that our systems would be more effective than, for example, LNG. We have negotiations with Gazprom company, but we also have risks for the development of our systems, because we have to explain our potential users and consumers that it becomes cheaper than, for example, LNG and CNG.
Thank you very much.
So we have to come. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you very much. And now we move on to the next presentation from China by Zhenyu Hu. Oh.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, hello everyone. I'm Hu Zhenyu, Link Space founder. I'm from China, and I'm so glad to be with you here, sharing our idea and our company's product. Okay, as we know, the United States has, sorry. Okay, as we all know, the United States has always been a leader in space, especially after SpaceX achieved the recovery of Falcon 9 launch vehicle. America's launch capability has been greatly improved. To this end, the BRICS countries are also expanding their space programs and enhance international cooperation, such as the Tiangong space station, and open the commercial launching market to the public at the same time. However, truth to be told, stay on the launching capability in BRICS are filled with national programs, with little room left for commercial payloads, while those small customer find it too expensive as rockets Earth break up in the air or crash into the sea. With a strong ambition to make more opportunity for people to get in out space, we build Link Space. In the past 6 years, we focus on reusable rocket technology. We have developed 5 generations of reusable rocket prototype and more than 300 hover flight and soft landing tests. Link Space has a stronger coating. Beside me, we got a CTO who a PhD in aircraft design from Beihang University. And then we also have a chief technologist from the China Academy of Launch Vehicle Technology with 13 years of work experience, and a successful designer, flight control algorithm engineer, AI engineer, and more than some academy. Proceeding to rocket design, it's common that structural engineer may rely on past case for target optimization, which take a long time. However, with Link Space dual analysis on iterable optimization algorithm with parameters like specific practice, price, and persistability as input, the AI algorithm could proceed and generate a sequence of a solution. After then, our engineers can easily apply those potential ones on experiments. For now, this opportunity based on AI has been applied in the practical test of link space, and the results shows that our algorithm are significantly cost-efficient, time-saving, and fully function. In 2016, we pioneered the use of self-developed productive narrow network control technology based on various states to save the soft landing problem in the rocket recovery process, which is a remarkable breakthrough to combining the AI with rocket component recycle. In the process, where the RT interference performance of the algorithm, we achieve the vertical takeoff and soft landing in a hinge environment with an average wind more than 4-5 stage and achieved a landing less than half a meter. Show excellent RT interference ability of narrow network control. Bidirectional held algorithm optimized on the RLVT3 to a 5 times Haverl and the larger RLVT5 rocket. We complete highly successful and highly precise flight and hover in very intense test, which is a great demonstration of the successfulness of AI algorithm. In 2 years, we will develop a 100 reusable suborbital vehicle as our first commercial product in the suborbital market. And all the economy, commercial space companies, government of BRICS are welcome. By reusing rockets, launch can greatly reduce cost to send a payload to orbit by as much as 75%. After then, to get into the orbit market, as we should have ton of experiment data, we are confident that we will have our first reusable orbit launch vehicle before 2024 at a cost of $5 million pre-launch. Last but not least, we decided to develop an open platform, share our idea, or test the data, and inviting all the economy around the world, especially from BRICS, to join the program. We do believe reusable rockets will benefit the development of BRICS aerospace industry. And we also look around to the day when human beings can early explore outer space. Let's move into a new era of space exploration. Thank you for your attention. Okay, let's see a video to show what we do.
10、9、8、7、6、5、4、3、2、1，点火。 10、
presentation is finished.
Thank you very
for
much.
your listening.
Thank you. Great. Thank you very much. And now to the questions. Do we have a question from Brazil, from Mr. Antonio Gomes Souza Filho?
Yeah. Oh, thank you for a very nice presentation. Of course, your project is very ambitious regarding, the concept as well, the investments. So could you comment a little bit more about your plan to make it real? I mean, you need a lot of investments. So please comment on that.
We cooperation with a national academy, so we don't have many investments. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Do we have a question from Russia, from Ms. Nina Inikina?
Yes, please. Thank you very much. I do agree with Antonio. It's a really ambitious thing that we have seen. My question is, what is your time horizon, the period for which you are planning? We have seen the timeline of the project. I'm sorry, my question is, how many partners do you right now have in the project? And how do you estimate the input of your team in the project as a whole? Because we do see this is really large thing, and it seems to me that there is a lot of participants. So where is your specific input in that?
For now, this rocket is small and it's just a prototype, so we don't expense. It's not expensive, yeah. And now we will research and develop a suborbital reusable rocket, and it make business, and it will first launch at 2021. So I think it's a big thing too, but no expensive. Yeah, thank you.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we do not have a question from India. We don't have a question from China, but we have a question from South Africa from Mr. Vusis Kosana. I'll read it. How much did the test and launch cost, including the development? And what will you do with the prize money if you win?
Sorry?
Yes, how much did the test and launch cost, including the development?
One test flight, how much?
I think so, yes.
Okay. Like this video, one time just use 10 kilo US dollar. Oh no, 10 kilo 10,000 RMB. One test.
Okay, thank you very much. And now we continue with the next presentation from South Africa, Lubele Gift.
Hello everyone. Can you all see my screen?
Not yet. We can hear you very well. I hope we will see the screen pretty soon. We can see you.
Okay. I'm just sharing.
Yes, we can see the screen. Excellent.
Fantastic.
Yeah, go ahead and
Awesome.
start. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is really exciting, I have to say. The nerves are kind of kicking in, but thank you so much for having us. I am Gift from Kudoti, representing South Africa, and I'll be sharing with you the work that we are doing in Kudoti. So in many cases, when we start speaking, people ask, what does the word Kudoti mean? Kudoti is literally a word in Zulu that means this place is dirty. And we started Kudoti last year, 2019. I am not Zulu. In fact, I grew up in a really interesting village with my grandmother, the lady with the cool hat, and my mother, the lady with the black and white. And I lived with my mother in one of South Africa's biggest townships, also one of South Africa's biggest slums, and it's called Tembisa. And in Tembisa, there's a population of about 463 people. And out of that, 34.5% of them are unemployed, which is a huge number. Sadly, or rather fortunately, a lot of people have started taking waste management as a way of surviving. A lot of people have started going to collect waste, and they're using that as a means of making means. In Johannesburg alone, which is one of the biggest cities in South Africa, there's about 60,000 informal waste pickers who go and collect waste to feed and eat every day. And for me personally, the journey began in 2015 when I was still in high school. I started going in different households to go ask for waste, and I made clothes out of waste. So the picture you see, it's me with a bag and a hat and a jacket made out of waste. But that didn't take off because I realized that it wasn't really helping my community a lot. In 2017 to 2018, I started working directly with these informal waste pickers that we see in many parts of the BRICS countries. And what I realized is the issue of waste management is not physical. In fact, waste management, the reason it's still redundant is that the problem is systematic. So in 2019, Kudoti was found, and we as Kudoti are the only scalable platform for efficient waste management and recycling in Africa. And this is why we say we're the only recycling platform that is efficient in South Africa. So over the past 5 years, we realized that there are these common challenges in waste. The first one is there's a lack of waste management system. Second challenge is there's a lot of inefficiencies caused by paper-based processes. So a lot of people in waste are still writing things on a piece of paper or an old book. And that the third thing is a lot of people waste resources by doing manual work in cases where these services could be easily automated. All this leads to very low margin among key waste stakeholders. And so in response to these challenges, what we do as Kudoti is we firstly streamline and digitize processes within waste management companies. We also then work with already existing assets to help them be more efficient and optimize them, resulting in higher margin and lowering cost. What really excites me about our platform is that we work with all the different stakeholders. We work with collectors, we work with waste processors, we work with logistics partners and collection points. And if I were to summarize the work that we do in 3 words, it would be we digitize operations, we coordinate operations, and we optimize. And this is how we do it. Take collection points, for an example. At the moment, the biggest challenge is people, particularly the ones who are doing collection of waste, need to communicate. They need to communicate with people they're taking waste from. They need to communicate with people they're taking waste to, and sometimes to get logistics. And in our platform, we help them through SMS. And as you may know, that in many parts of the BRICS countries, a lot of people still have feature phones and they don't have smartphones. So our software, our platform also works on SMS as well. And with an SMS, someone is able to register on our platform. They're able to also capture data and also request logistics. So this is more like an Uber-like model, but for waste management. Second to that is we also work with waste providers, and we help them optimize the routes of collecting waste and decrease cost by essentially pooling all their logistics assets into one platform where drivers are able to register and they're able to accept or get requests of waste pickups. And we also work with waste processors. So these are companies that are taking in waste and turning waste into new types of products. The issue with them is they're using systems that are old, and these systems aren't meant for waste. And so what we do as Skudoti is we help them track the waste volumes, and we optimize the flow of waste. And the waste processors are also able to improve their logistics. This is even more exciting. We actually are able at the moment, or we're looking forward to working with a lot of municipalities in helping them track the waste activities, in helping them monitor their performance and make decisions that are informed and they are backed by data. Through our platform, municipalities and projects are able to visualize and see what's happening in their operation in real life. Now, this is the market, and this is just South Africa. So in South Africa, there's about $1.5 billion that is the waste market. Out of that, we as Skudoti realized that only 10% of that is the technology addressable market. That's the market we're going after. And out of that technology market, we believe that we can get 45% only in South Africa, which is about 57 million dollars. And this includes waste management companies, recycling SMEs, and informal waste pickers. What really excites me, and this is just looking now at the African continent alone, is that the waste market keeps growing every year at a rate of 8.5%. And at the moment, this is really sad, we lose about $8 billion every year by not recycling. And so how we intend on making money, we have two types of business of our revenue model. The first one is a prepackaged service where we give waste management companies and all the relevant stakeholders a monthly subscription where they would then kind of pay and we would give them our services. The second part, which is really interesting as well, is we offer a customizable platform as a service where you are able to go in environments where there's no technology infrastructure and you're still able to apply and implement our technology. Our target markets includes waste management companies, municipalities, and waste projects and initiatives. So this is currently what's happening, and this is our progress. At the moment, we have 9 companies who are testing our solution in 7 African countries. And as you can see, that our solution is not only limited to South Africa. In fact, it is easily replicable because it's a digital platform. And what's interesting is most of these clients, most of these projects, these testing pilots, we were able to get them during the the COVID-19 pandemic. And at the moment, we have about 14 formal waste pickers in South Africa alone that are directly benefiting from our platform. This is the traction so far. Towards the end of 2019, it was just me and my other co-founder. During the end of 2019, we built our first MVP and contacted about 100 firms to get research and understand the challenges that they're getting, particularly in the tech waste management side. Early this year, we've built our version 1 of the platform, and I left my job as a research engineer to come full-time into the company, and we were full-time, two full-time resources. And during March, we started looking at getting new pilots during the COVID-19 crisis, and we got 5 new pilots or testing projects of our product. At the moment, we're building our version 2 of the platform, and we have an academic case study with the University of Johannesburg on way to really solidify the work that we do. Some of our awards include being named top 20 under top 25 most innovative company, and we are part of some organizations globally. And this is the team. You have me, who is serving as the COO of the company. You have Matthew, who's our CEO and has done his master's at HEC in Paris in sustainability innovation. You have Kola, who's doing his master's in engineering, and he's currently our software lead. You have Press, who's worked at the who's working as our chief product officer. And this is what we want to do with the money that we will win. Everything that I've shown you so far has been built out of our own pocket. We've literally taken money and put it in the business to really get these projects that we are going to test our solution. So with the money that we will win, we want to improve our front end and user interface. We want to also build our backup and architectural for scaling, and we really want to focus at India and Brazil because they are more or less similar like the African market, and they also are struggling with the issue of waste management and the efficiency thereof. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gift. Great presentation. Now to the questions. Do we have a question from Brazil, from Mr. Antonio Gomes Souza Filho?
Oh yeah, thank you very much for your very exciting project. I like that very much. Could you comment a little bit about your plan and your view of having governments, main governments from the cities as client of your system, of your platform?
Thank you for that. So in South Africa, we actually are engaging with one government in a city called Cape Town. And the issues that we have realized within the government is twofold. The first part is governments are still using very old systems to manage their waste. So they're looking for something new that is built for waste. At the moment, they're using old systems or new systems like Sage, SAP, but those systems aren't built for waste. Second to that, the government is really trying to help people who are within waste management. They're trying to help the informal waste pickers. They're trying to help small businesses who are in waste management. But the challenge is they are unable to track the key performance indicators in helping these different stakeholders. So our platform is able to really give the municipalities or the government customizable KPIs that they can then use when helping these individuals. Such KPIs can include the social impact, how many people were impacted by the government's intervention before, during, and after the program. They could also include financial part, because through our platform, one is able to integrate a payment method where you are able to then work with these informal guys and kind of use the platform to pay them. But lastly, which is more interesting, is the data part of it. The informal, or rather the waste management industry in most of the BRICS countries is a place where, or an industry where little data is collected. And our platform gives us an opportunity to delve into this industry and start collecting data that could then be used for even better and more exciting things.
Great, thank you very much. We do not have a question from Russia. We do have a question from India, from Dr. Vipin Kumar.
Yeah, thank you very much. A very innovative project. What I understood that it is like the vehicles which are sharing the passengers, like in Uber, the passengers and the destinations are very well defined. So is it true for your business also, like who is going to dump the data and who is going to accept it?
Sorry, your question, can you rather repeat it? I might have missed it.
So I'm asking that, like, the passenger, the companies like in Uber, the passengers and destinations are defined. So I'm having a query whether it is the same business model like you do have in your database, that who is going to dump and who is going to accept it.
Correct. So that is one of the features of the app. So we have different waste management companies operate in different ways. So in a case where a waste management company wants to, for example, connect with logistics partners, it would exactly work like Uber, where someone puts in the collection location, the drop-off location, and sends a request. And the request then goes out to all the available drivers on the system, and then whoever accepts kind of gets those details. But other operations are quite different in a sense that some people don't really need to include the drop-off location every time, because some people operate on a pre-scheduled basis where they know that every single Wednesday waste is going to be collected at Mr. Vipin's location. Or every single Friday waste is going to be collected at Mr. Kosani's location. So you don't have to put that information every time. So it's a pre-scheduled thing. But in some cases, you are right in saying that someone has to input where the dump location is and where the pickup location is. And all that data is visualized in real time.
Thank you very much.
Very good.
Yeah, we do not have a question from China, but we do have it from South Africa, from Mr. Vusis Kosana. And I'll read it. What are some of the improvements planned in version 2 of the platform?
Yeah, so that's a really interesting question. So what we realized is a lot of waste management companies already have systems like Sage, like SAP, like some are using Excel. But these systems aren't meant for waste. And what we are trying to do is not replace these systems. We know how difficult it is to replace a big system in big companies or even medium companies. So the next features that are really exciting, firstly, is the integration of already existing softwares like Sage and SAP and many other systems. We are going to integrate them in version 2 of our platform. What's also interesting is we're now integrating Google Maps so that we can do smart route optimization, where, like what Mr. Kumar was saying, when someone sends out the different requests to pick up waste, Google Maps works hand in hand with our platform to come up with the most effective and most efficient way to go collect that route, to save people petrol, to save people time, and also essentially, make their job much better. Lastly, we also have in version 2 a QR code scanner. So in cases where people really don't have someone on site, where it's just a bin and it's sitting in the middle of the city, we want to put a QR code scanner so that when someone goes to collect that bin, after collecting, they can just simply scan that bin to show that they've collected the bin.
Thank you very much. Now we are through with the first part of our presentations today, and it's time for a little coffee break. We have about 8.5 minutes left, so we'll continue as scheduled when the countdown is over. Welcome back to the final part of your presentations. We have 4 more speakers to go. I hope you did have a chance to grab some refreshment or some snacks. And now we continue with our next speaker from Brazil, Francine Claro.
Hello.
Hello.
Are you listening to me?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Present the slides?
We see your presentation now, and you can begin.
Okay. Hello, I am Francine Claro. I am from Brazil. I have a bachelor's degree in chemistry. I am a PhD student in material science and engineering at the Federal University of Paraná, in partnership with Embrapa Forestry. Today, I am going to present to you a wound dressing material made from cellulose pulp. I will share some slides with you to facilitate the understanding of the project. Known as low-cost, wood-derived nanocellulose wound dressing. In Brazil, the Ministry of Health estimates that approximately 1 million people suffer burns each year and need hospital treatment. Due to the large number of accidents with burns, the aging population, and the increase in diseases such as diabetes, the global market for wound dressing is booming. Chronic or large wounds represent a serious clinical challenge and can involve high treatment costs for hospital and community healthcare providers. Due to the high frequency of morbidity, bacterial proliferation, and antibiotic resistance in this case. Wound dressings are one treatment alternative and have driven research to obtain biocompatible materials that optimizes cutaneous healing. The field of wound care is always expanding because wounds have various characteristics that cannot be addressed by a single healing method. Applications of biomaterials in the areas of biomedicine and biotechnology are environmentally, socially, and industrially significant. Cellulose is the most abundant biopolymer. It is widely used to its chemical and physical properties in a variety of industrial applications, most commonly in the production of paper and packaging. Bacteriocellulose membranes have been used as artificial skin in wound healing since the 1980s. However, manufacturing of bacteriocellulose is an expensive process, driven by the low productivity and high cost of raw materials, especially because of the culture medium. On the other hand, the membrane from wood cellulose presents a simpler and faster process. The production can easily be scaled up because it's coming from cellulose pulp, a well-established industry in terms of standard, cost, and ease of purchase worldwide. This project involved the production and characterization of a membrane consisting of wood cellulose nanofibrils, obtained by mechanical defibrillation. The value proposition of this innovation is to produce a new wound dressing from wood cellulose nanofibrils with characteristics similar to those produced using bacteria, at a lower cost and with similar efficiency. The new product uses nanocellulose without changing its chemical surface and without adding additives. The prototype nanocellulose wound dressing was developed and described by me as a master project in the laboratories of Embrapa Forestry and the Federal University of Paraná. An inexpensive mechanical method was used to defibrillate the cellulose, the grinder. And the membranes were subsequently obtained from the nanofibrils by filtering and drying under mild pressure. a method similar to the conventional paper-making process. The prototype membrane was produced from bleached pine pulp, which is a commercial product with high production in the world. The outcomes for wound healing were statistically similar to these obtained with commercially available bacteriocellulose dressings. The nanocellulose membrane presents better efficiency in the first 4 days. Therefore, this membrane may be suitable for the early stages of wound treatment, when the wound is more exposed and prone to a higher risk of infection, acting as a protective barrier. No allergic reactions or inflammatory responses to the wood nanocellulose dressings were observed. Besides efficiency, the membrane developed involves a simpler, faster, and cheaper manufacturing process that could reduce production costs by 99%. Production of bacteriocellulose using the most common media costs $248 per kilogram, which could increase significantly when other expenses are considered. In contrast, studies have estimated that the suspending nanofibrils from wood cellulose costs $1.09 per kilogram. From 1 kilogram of nanocellulose, we can produce 50 square meters of wound dressings. This represents less than 1% of the value reported for the production of bacteriocellulose and highlights how competitive wood cellulose can be for dressings. The bacteriocellulose wound dressings, available in the market range in price from $4 to $45 per unit, depending on size. The same dressings, made of wood nanocellulose, would cost only cents to produce. The membranes produced in this project are high quality, easy to produce, and competitive in cost, but also involve other benefits, such as social environmental impact. This initiative has a direct impact of the Brazilian Unified Health System, since nanofibrillate wood cellulose membranes are less expensive than bacteriocellulose membranes, but offer the same effectiveness, being an excellent alternative for countries with low investment in health. We only use cellulose pulp and water as raw material. The cellulose pulp for these wound dressings comes from forests certified by the Forest Stewardship Council organization created to promote responsible forest management around the world. In advancing the innovation protocol, the Zynox company teamed up with Embrapa and National Service for Industrial Training, Innovation Institute for Biosynthetic, ISI, in response to a call for innovation to pilot production on an industrial scale. The ISI assisted Zynox and Embrapa in scaling up the technology, producing nanofibrillate cellulose membranes, and characterizing these novel materials. In vivo testing was conducted in partnership with Evangelical Mackenzie University. Zynox is currently preparing a patent application for the product and its manufacturing process. In summary, this novel material is efficient, cheap, and easy to produce, and will allow adequate, high-quality treatment for low-income people all over the world. I would like to thank the entire team that worked in this project, the institutions that made this idea viable, CAPS, the Federal University of Paraná, Embrapa Forestry, and our institution for supporting this work. Finally, here I have a wood-derived nanocellulose wooden dressing, a thin, translucent, and malleable membrane that is applied moist to the wound. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you very much, Francine. Now we do have a question from Brazil, from your home country, from Mr. Antonio Gomes Souza Filho.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Francine, for your nice presentation. Could you comment a little bit about the externalization of those membranes?
Sorry, can you repeat, please?
Could you comment a little bit about the sterilization of your membrane before use?
The sterilization is come again. Sorry. And UV
UV radiation.
Sorry, I don't.
You mean UV radiation?
Yes, UV radiation. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. We don't have a question from Russia. Do we have one from India, from Dr. Vipin Kumar? No?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's okay. No.
Oh, okay. We do have a question from China, though, from Dr. Jenny Guo.
Hello, it's really nice presentation. My question is, do you have any pilot application? And if so, how's the result? Especially, could you please explain more about the allergy result?
I have problems to understand.
And about the allergic reactions?
Yes, and also your pilot application, if you have, please explain a little bit more.
Okay. The test performed in Western rats, and the clinical testing trials with the help of Evangelical Mackenzie University. And we will conduct the clinical trainings.
And besides clinical, also about the allergy, please. Allergy reaction or anything related to allergy reactions?
No allergic reactions or inflammatory response to observed.
From your clinical results, right?
Sorry, the sound failed.
Okay, that's fine. No more questions, that's fine.
Thank you very much. Do we have a question from South Africa, from Mr. Vuzis Kosana?
Yes, I do. And I'm going to probably be asking the same question. I want to find out, is this material depending on the severity of the surgical process? And does the complexity reduce or increase in the treatment? And I want to understand if there's some biodegradable aspects on the patent that they are trying to put in.
A complexidade do aumento depende com diferentes tamanhos de machucado.
Yes, depending on the time required for the wound healing and the time that the dressing remains adhered to the wound. The chronic or large wound is most effective in this.
Thank you very much. We don't have any more questions, so we are moving on to the next presenter, and it's Alexei Basmanov from Russia. We can see you, Alexei. Alexei, can you hear us? We cannot hear you, so could you check the mic, please?
Can you hear me?
Now, yes, we can.
Okay, let's go with the presentation. Hello everyone, my name is Alexey Basmanov. I'm from South Ural State University, and I would like to introduce EcoMonitor project, an environmental risk management system for industrial enterprises. You know, Chelyabinsk is an industrial city which is located on the border of Europe and Asia. It is the most polluted city in Russia among the cities with over 1 million people, and it has been among the top 10 most polluted cities in Russia. That means that environmental problems are essential for our city. Most factories and plants in Chelyabinsk don't have an opportunity to monitor and forecast air pollution, which invokes a lot of problems connected to environmental pollution. Although some factories have sensors installed, the information received from them is not used to improve the city's air quality. The problem of ecology is relevant is not only in Russia. The problem is also actual for BRICS union countries. For example, China and India are among the most polluted countries in the world, and Brazil and South Africa also suffers from ecology. There are many systems that are used to represent the spread of emissions to the atmosphere. Some of them are based on a Gaussian model but do not represent the spread of pollution in real time. Others are based on Lagrange and Euler models, but require a lot of computing power to implement. In world science, several mathematical models are known that allow solving similar problems. Chemical transport model, CalPath, TAPM, and others. Basically, all systems are only monitoring systems that do not allow making forecasts and based on emissions. We have developed a system that provides the real-time monitoring based on the customer's needs. The system is based on a modification of a Gaussian model, and the main advantage of our model is that we can predict the spread of pollutants and take into account the weather conditions in real time. The proposed EcoMonitor project will solve this problem by creating a monitoring and analysis system that will allow us making decisions in real time and prevent negative consequences. The EcoMonitor project of monitoring and forecasting has a modular architecture and allows to visualize the current environmental situation, carry out automated analysis of data on emissions, and predict the environmental situation. You can see a picture of a visualization of our project. Our partners are the Department of the Federal Service for Supervision of Natural Resources in the Chelyabinsk region and manufacturing company of automated systems and measuring instruments, Emerson. Here you can see our project architecture. The system has a block modular structure which includes monitoring the concentration of pollutants hardware, emission monitoring tools, system of collecting and storing information, weather station system, ecologist's workplace, and EcoMonitor special software package. The block modular principle allows to enlarge the system's capabilities without restrictions, both for increasing the reliability of forecasts and for expanding the list of fixed source and territorial coverage. Here you can see the modules of our project. Our project has several modules which are divided basic modules, optional modules, and modules on request. Basic modules are modules that are obligatory for a project. These modules have already been done. Optional modules are modules that we're going to create and release, and modules or requests are modules that can be implemented at the customer's needs. Here you can see our first module, the visualization of concentration propagation of pollutants in real-time module. This module displays real-time monitoring of the spread of gases pollutants at the atmosphere. The view of the working screen is shown on the slide. A map of a certain industrial enterprise is presented. Red dots indicate emission sources. The level lines represent the concentrations of CO2 gas. The color of the level lines corresponds to concentration. The color and concentration values are shown on the emission concentration scale. And here is another module that we have done. It is modeling various scenarios of pollution propagation depending on the weather forecast and planned emissions module. The working screen of the ecologies of the module is shown on the slide. A satellite map of the plant is also located in the center. In the upper left corner, there is a diagram of the polar coordinate which shows the strengths of the weeds, and 0 corresponds to the north direction. There is also a list of sources on the right. The sources themselves are marked with red highlights. Control points are marked with green marks on the map. In the lower part of the screen, the red line shows the graph of the concentration of the test substance at the control point. We have done an experiment. In July 2019, an experiment was carried out to check the adequacy of the model with the support of Office of the Federal Service for Supervision of Natural Resources in the Chelyabinsk region at a plant for the production of thermal insulation materials. The purpose of the experiment was to confirm the adequacy of our system and estimate the error calculating in concentration of pollutants. The participants during the experiment were a Center for Laboratory Analysis and Technical Measurements, Center for Environmental Monitoring of the Chelyabinsk region, and our university. Here are the results of our experiment. Checking the adequacy of the model for sulfur dioxide showed the convergence of experimental and calculated data within the area of the methods. However, the concentration of other measured pollutants were below the detection limit of the physical and chemical analysis methods used. You can see the monitor of an ecologist of the slide. Here you can see a value comparison of an experimental and calculated values of sulfur dioxide. As you can see, these values converge at every moment of the experiment. The project's industrial partner is the transcontinental firm Amazon, the largest enterprise for the production of sensors and automated systems. In 2019, we integrated our system with Emerson equipment. The slide shows a stand that emulates our sensors, which is connected to our system. Further development. There are several ways to develop our project. First of all, we would like to set up a pilot project on one of the cement plants near Chelyabinsk. Secondly, there is a need in creating an experimental mathematical modeling, monitoring and forecasting pollution propagation laboratory on the basis of the boiler house of our university in order to study the greenhouse effect and especially the greenhouse gas CO2. This laboratory will allow us to deal with problems related to greenhouse effect. And you know, this issue is being actively discussed with partners. Then we're going to develop additional modules. As it was mentioned, the list of required modules of the project is constantly being updated. Finally, we're going to commercialize our project on a life cycle model. In the end, I want to thank my supervisor and the director of our institute, Alona Zamishляeva, the project head, the head of the project, Dmitry Drozin, and our team, which consists of mathematicians, software developers, ecologists, and lawyers. Thanks for your attention. I will be very grateful to answer all your questions.
Yes, thank you very much, Alexei. Do we have a question from Brazil, from Mr. Antonio Gomes Souza Filho?
No, I have no question.
Okay.
Thank you.
We do have a question from Russia, from Ms. Nina Yanikina.
Yes, thank you very much. Alexei, you named several ways of further development.
Yes.
Which one is your favorite and why?
Well, for a start, we need to set up a pilot project in order to have a successful way here to organize the commercialization of our project. Then after the pilot project, we are going to set up a laboratory based on our university. And I told about the lists of modules. They can be done with the help of partners while we will have some agreements with the plants and factories.
Thank you very much.
So the pilot, the lab, and the production. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We do have a question from India, from Dr. Vipin Kumar.
Yeah, thank you very much for a nice presentation. I understood that it is first the monitoring and then taking some action. So it is a reactive approach. I understand that there are some other models available based on the reactive approach. So is this technology anyway superior than the existing one?
Yes, sure. We have a lot of advantages of our project. For a start, our project works in real time, which can't be used in models on the slide, for example, CalPath or TAPM. Secondly, we can easily estimate environmental risks to the environment that can't also be done by other models and systems. Did I answer your question?
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yeah. We do have a question from China, from Dr. Jenny Guo. I'll read it. How will you deal with or analyze the data that you received to make any changes?
Well, as it was mentioned, our model is based on a Gaussian model where it was described the modification of the Gaussian model, where we can describe the propagation of the emissions. And okay, that's all.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. And we also have a question from South Africa, from Mr. Vusis Kosana. I'll also read it. What is the cost of hardware and probe instruments for the relevant emission in your planned pilot?
There is a commercialized registration certificate with the price of our project of $1,500. After the pilot project, we're planning to sell our project for a price of $100 per place, per college's place for 2 basic modules. and the other modules will be optional, so we can have an agreement about the price of and the cost of these modules.
Thank you very much. And we are
Thank
moving
you.
on to the next presenter, Yin Zhan from China.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you and we can see you.
Okay, so yeah, I need to share my screen first.
Yes, please.
Yes. I think I already shared the screen.
Then we will see it in a second, I think.
Okay, so is my slides show on your screen?
Not yet. But it
So
also always
maybe
takes...
wait.
Yes, we can see it now.
Yeah, okay, so let's start. Okay, hello everyone. I'm Yin Zhang from China. Today I will present you a project named Production of Liquid Fuels from Carbon Dioxide. First of all, I would like to give a brief introduction about myself. I did my bachelor degree of science in Beijing University of Chemical Technology. Then I moved to Australia and got my PhD degree in Monash University. After that, I moved back to China, and currently I'm an associate professor at Jiangnan University, and I'm now doing some interesting research about electrochemistry and also collaborate with some company to industrialize some of my ideas. So today, I will present one of my ideas, which utilizes abundant carbon dioxide and converts it into valuable chemicals. As we all know, carbon dioxide is an integral part of carbon cycle. In nature, plants can catalyze carbon dioxide into oxygen and carbohydrates to support our life. However, due to the need of qualified life, since Industrial Revolution, significant amount of CO2 has been released to the atmosphere and causes greenhouse effect. For example, consumption of fossil fuels contributes a lot. From 1979 until today, the increasing trend of carbon dioxide in atmosphere is obvious as shown in this figure. This one. Because of this, the direct global warming influence of carbon dioxide on climate has increased 50% since 1990. The growing population, intensified agricultural practices, and the increases in land use and other things have all contributed to this alarming situation. I need to mention that carbon dioxide is a major component of greenhouse gas, which occupied more than 80%. If without any intervention, the CO2 level will keep increasing, and the situation about the environment, animals, and even human beings will getting worse. The current carbon cycle in nature cannot bear so much amount of carbon dioxide, and we cannot just simply sacrifice the economic growth and do not allow the industry development to step forward. Especially for BRICS, our 5 countries still need to develop our economics and industry as well, so that we are trying to build a man-made carbon cycle in our lab to use excess carbon dioxide and at the same time create profits from this process. The current way of control carbon dioxide is mainly about capture carbon dioxide and store it underground. This approach is not eco-friendly and effective since gaseous CO2 is easy to leak, and it's hard to store it for a long period. Our solution is converting carbon dioxide into easily storable non-gaseous and valuable chemicals. This way is more direct and can create profits since we can control the final products. There are many approaches which can convert carbon dioxide. Here, we choose electricity as energy input due to its eco-friendly features. First, electricity can be treated as a renewable and clean energy, which can come from wind, solar, and hydro. Second, electrochemical approach is relatively easy to achieve higher efficiency, current density, and long-time stability under ambient conditions using inexpensive catalysts in comparison with other approaches. Here, high efficiency means we are able to produce a single product without too many byproducts. High current density means we can obtain significant amount of products within a short time. Stability is necessary for practical application in industry. The key thing to achieve those is to have a very good catalyst. In my lab, we explored a lot of material synthesis methods, including electrochemical exfoliation, electrodeposition, and hydrothermal method. Our design strategy is to pick a metal as precursor, make nano-sized material to increase its active size. Then we apply surface modification while doping with heteroatoms or modifying with small molecules to tilt the surface absorption properties towards important reaction intermediates. Finally, got a material which can ideally convert CO2 into our target products, which are liquid fuels. Here is a demonstration about using electrochemical exfoliation approach to make a bismuth-based nanomaterials. So I will start the video. So we just simply apply a voltage. Then the material can be exfoliated from the electrode, and a nice thin layer bismuth or bismuth subcarbonate nanosheet can be obtained. Here, we use bismuth flakes as the electrode, which is very cheap, about 3 RMB per 10 gram. We can fully use it to make nanomaterials, and the catalysts can be sold at least 1,000 RMB per 10 gram. These slides, I show some performance of our synthesized catalysts. Now, with bismuth catalysts, we can achieve almost 100% of format, and the current density is the highest as reported so far. Also, the stability is quite good. After 10 hours, it shows no decay, and now we are testing for a couple of days. The result is still good, as I saw today in my lab. With copper-based catalysts, we can achieve about 70 to 80% of ethanol, which is a very interesting result. And we are now still optimizing it to improve current density and stability. Maybe you are now concerning about whether this catalyst can be used in real industry, since it looks like and complicated experiments can only happen in the lab, and whether products are easy to separate and condense. Here, I record another short video to show you. Compared with a traditional H-shaped cell, we have used a flow cell. You can see that actually this flow cell, we designed it. We just, it's a homemade one. So you can see that CO2 gas went through the tubing, this one, let me stop it. Went through this tubing to go to the other side. And gas and the liquid things go through another tubing and then go to these containers. We collect our products here in a small container or a beaker. So actually, when we use these devices, it's easy to collect the different products and it's easy to test them. Okay. So I'm aiming to run this project for 10 years, for 4 years until this project can be used in the real world. Currently, we are undergoing lab-based research, but we already contact with enterprises positively. Here are 2 companies. We are already collaborate with them. And now we are collaborating with them to industrialize some of our materials. And currently, we are now providing sample catalysts for them to test. We are already able to do a mass production of our catalysts. So I think we are now in the correct track. And we are looking forward to more financial support and welcome for collaboration from all over the world. Some of our works has already been published in famous and some top journals in chemistry, including Engelwand, SES Catalysts, and those published work have been highlighted in Nature Catalysts and Chemistry in Australia, and also has been widely reported in domestic and international social media. So finally, I would like to introduce my team to everyone. We are a very young research team with different background, but we also collaborate with some famous scientists in both China and Australia. I'm very glad to have the opportunity to show my team to everyone because it's the first time I'm able to show them in such a nice event. They all contribute a lot in this project, and I hope we can bring more useful materials and techniques to the whole society in the near future. Thanks for attention, and I'm welcome for questions and discussions.
Oh, thank you, Ying, for your presentation, and it's great to meet your team. Indeed. Now, questions. Do we have a question from Brazil, from Mr. Antonio Gomes Souza Filha?
Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for your nice presentation and challenging project. Could you comment a little bit about the scalability of your process regarding the current technology in the field?
Actually, currently in my field, they only use edge-shaped devices. So it actually is hard for most of the scientists to industrialize their catalysts or the whole process. So we just try to use a flow cell. It's a configuration I show in the video. And this one actually can reach a very, very high current density, which makes it possible to industrialize it. So I think not too many groups in the world can do it. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Do we have a question from Russia, from Ms. Nina Yanikina? No question. From India, no question. From China, no question. Do we have a question from Mr. Fusis Kosana from South Africa? Oh, just a second. I guess I'll read it as soon as I receive it. Oh, no?
Yeah.
Yes, I'll read it. What is the expected efficiency loss from lab scale milligrams to the kilo lab for kilograms commercialization?
Yeah, actually, this is also a very this is a very good question. This is also what I want to know so far. Yeah, because now we are going only on the lab-based research. We are trying to now I can make a mass production of my catalysts. I already sent it to a company. They can help me to test. But so far, I don't know. I don't know how many efficiency we are lost. But based on the lab results, I think not too many efficiency were lost. Yeah, because we can for formic acid we can reach 100% efficiency, around 100% efficiency already for 10 hours. Now for a couple of days they are still running, so I think it's stable enough. But when you try to use maybe very big devices. So maybe it's a little bit omega because we use the electricity. So maybe the resistance of our catalysts will be larger than we did in our lab, because in our lab we only do 1 gram catalysts. Maybe in the industries they will use a lot of catalysts on our electrode. So the resistance may be larger. So maybe here we will lose some efficiency. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I guess we have one more speaker left today. So I'm happy to introduce Zinle Ngidi from South Africa.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you perfectly well.
Okay, cool. I think we can now start by playing this video.
It always takes a few seconds. Yes, we can see the presentation now.
So just give me a second. I just need to share.
Okay.
Can you guys still hear me?
We can hear you, and I think we will see your. We'll see you. We see you now.
the presentation?
It will take a while. Just let's wait a couple seconds. No, we cannot see it. You have. It looks like you need to pull it up again.
Okay. Okay. Can we all see it now?
We can. Yes, excellent.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much for allowing me the opportunity to share this presentation with you. My name is Zinhle Ngidi. I am the founder of a company called ЮУрГУ Clean Tech. We are based in KZN, South Africa. Okay. We have identified a nicotine-free tobacco plant, which we grow, and we use this, it's seed oil, and we convert it to renewable fuel. We identified that there's a huge need to create our own renewable fuel in South Africa because we're currently importing most of our fuel into the country. And also the country has vast areas of underutilized arable land, which can be used for smallholder cultivation. And in Africa, South Africa has got the most advanced legislative biodiesel implementation framework in the African continent, which allows 5% of our fuel to be blended with biodiesel. And there's also a 50% tax rebate for biodiesel producers. So typically, this is the kind of scenario that we would look into. We identify rural communities and especially women from those communities. So we go in and we try and speak to the chief of that area or the local councillor. We will then identify members of those communities who are unemployed, and there's a very high rate of unemployment, 50% of unemployment in rural communities. So we identify these members and we start them off on a training program where we teach them skills to do agricultural practices. We teach them how to grow this nicotine-free plant. We teach them how to harvest, how to do seed separation, etc. And once that process has been done, we then become their route to market, because we then allow them to grow these at their own, at the utilization of their own land, and then we buy the crop from them. Then we then go on further to process into the different products that can be derived from this nicotine-free plant. This is just a picture of some of the women that we have been working with in rural communities. This is actually taken in Tongat. That is me and some of the ladies that we've been working with so far. This was the first training program that we've done. And why do we do this in South Africa? Because our government has a regulation requirement for biofuels. We've got access to tribal land. The other reason is due to high unemployment and very, very low economic activity in rural communities. Young people are leaving these areas to go to urban cities to try and find opportunities, and we are ideally trying to address that by opening up the industry and opportunities in the communities and ensure that there is economic participation. And we also have ideal climate conditions for cultivation of this nicotine-free tobacco plant. Our impact, we are very, very big on driving impact. So we really take this as our priority. Rural economy stimulation. We are repopulating these rural communities. We offer them training, skills transfer, and also because our plant is a seasonal plant, we allow them to then explore the opportunities of doing crop rotation and using and opening up other markets that otherwise would not have been, they would have not been exposed to. Then this in turn creates employment opportunities and small business opportunities for the family farming businesses. And 1 hectare of this cultivation provides a stable income for 2 people. And in South Africa, 1 person's income takes care of between 4 to 5 people. And we are planning on doing this in over 3,000 hectares, which they will then sustain about 6,000 livelihoods, 6,000 households. The environmental impact that we want to achieve through this is, for every 10 million liters of renewable fuel that we produce, we will be directly removing 26,800 metric tons of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. We use environmentally friendly agricultural practices, and we want to ensure that we further contribute into the environmental impact that we want to ensure that is kept up. The crop rotation, we use that to balance the soil pH levels, and we use dry farming methods, saving on water. Our main product is the biodiesel at this point, but we have tested on aviation fuel with the pilots that was done with SAA about 4 years ago. And we will be further doing more research on marine fuel. But other bioproducts that we can be derived is animal protein, fertilizer, and also glycerol. Because we're working with rural communities, these communities are often exposed to be vulnerable because people normally would underpay them. But we have committed ourselves to ensure that we pay them fair market rates for their produce. We pay our employees, pay them above or on minimum wage. We are currently working with the KZN government for assistance for the smallholder farmers to initially assist them with setup cost. We are trying to further support them with interest-free loans, and our quality standards are met through the seed partnership agreement that we have with our seed partner, SunChem, for further training and development. Product and the market. There's currently about 65 million liters in demand. Renewable biodiesel itself is cleaner, it burns longer, and it is much better for your car engines in the long run. Okay. We have a refining technology partner that we've just came into agreement with, Green Fuels. They are one of the largest biodiesel equipment distributors in the world, with over a client base in over 80 countries, and they're currently producing more than 1 million liters of biodiesel per day. We are also looking at all the sustainable development goals, and our key focus areas is goal number 1, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 13. But we are always conscious of the rest. Our revenue model. We have signed an offtake agreement with a company called Fuel Tech. At the moment, we are not producing because we have been testing our products and trying to finalize our model. But at this point, once we start producing, we would like to produce, we already have an existing market. Our protein cake as well, we've secured a market for that with a company that is big on animal protein and fertilizer. We've tested our leaves and stems for paper making. At this point, we have not addressed as to what type of revenue will be generated from those sales, but it is something that is also on the pipeline. Our track record. So I've mentioned previously that this tobacco oil has been tested for aviation fuel with SAA and Boeing. We've tested the biodiesel with the University of Stellenbosch. The pulp has also been tested with SAPI. Just to highlight some of our achievements, we made it to the finalists of the Global Cleantech Innovation Program in 2019. We were the winners of the Invalisi Enviropreneur Program in 2017, and we are now just being elected as awarded candidates for the Scale Out for Impact program run by TIA, the Technology Innovation Agency of South Africa. So these are some of the cost financial projections that we're looking at. These will be based on full production capacity, where our profit per farmer, they will be making a profit of about 8,400 Rand per hectare, and we will be making a profit of 3.15 Rand per liter that we'll be selling of biodiesel. We are currently on an investment, trying to raise investment for this project, and we're trying to raise $1.95 million. This will be used for training and education to set up a logistics network, the initial setup costs and compliance, and also farming equipment and refinery setup.
Last minute, please.
Okay. This business model can be replicated 24 times in South Africa before we can look at scaling it into other countries. But we have also identified that in the BRICS countries, Brazil, India, China are also some of the countries that we'd like to partner with in the future. Meet my team, Lindani, myself, and Nozipo. Thank you very much, and sorry for the noise coming from the other side. Apologies.
Thank you very much. No, you have some very nice background noise, actually, especially the birds. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, now we have some questions. We do not have a question from Brazil, but we do have a question from Russia, from Ms. Nina Yanikina.
Hello, thank you. Thank you very much for the presentation. That was brilliant. I wonder, you're going to raise up to $2 million as the investment. So what are your priority sources of investments? Where are you going to get money?
We're looking at a blended type of finance, because there are elements of the business where we're not going to be immediately making money back, especially with the training and assisting the rural communities to set up. So we are looking at grants, loans, and also equity funding, but we're looking at a blended finance model.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Maybe there is also an opportunity to get some kind of crowdfunding, so just think about it. Thank you.
Thank you. We're looking into that as well.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much. We also have a question from India, from Dr. Vipin Kumar.
Yeah, thank you very much for very nice presentation. In addition to the initial investment, there is a cost for cultivation of the plant, its harvesting, then extraction of biodiesel, its purification, then the quality control. So my question is whether this model is economic viable?
Sorry, can you please repeat your question?
I'm saying
is it economically viable?
I'm saying that in addition to the initial cost, initial investment, there is a cost for cultivation of plant, its harvesting, its extraction of biodiesel, purification, quality control. So my question is whether this model is really economic viable. Is it understood now?
Okay, yes, I think I do understand. Yes, we have calculated based on the sales that we've projected and how we can then scale it up. Once we have reached our full production scale, that's when the money will come back and we will then continue expanding to other areas that we like to tap into. So we have really seen that the margins are not as high, but with volume, then it compensates. And also the fact that this plant is a 3-month crop. So every 3 months, you know that you've got a complete cycle.
Okay.
Great. Thank you very much. We do not have a question from China, but we do have a question from South Africa from Mr. Fusis Kosana. And I'll read it. If you win the prize, how will you use it?
I'm hoping very much to win the prize. Right now we've got about 25 people that are waiting on the list to start on the training program. So that prize money will really go into assisting us. We would immediately begin with the first round of training for this year.
Great, thank you very much. So that was the final presentation of our program. Thank you very much for the most interesting research that you have shared with us, and we hope that you will succeed in your future scientific work. As for the winners, we will be announcing them on Friday. Dear adjudicators, please send us the scoring table just like you did yesterday. And if you make any amendments to the original points from day 1, then please send the updated version. Tomorrow you will discuss the potential winners' presentations to take a final decision together. And just a reminder, please vote for the Science Stand-Up performance that you enjoyed most of all in the Media tab at the forum website. You can do so starting in less than an hour. And that's all for today. I think we can thank each other very much for attention and for the presentations. And tomorrow we start as usual at 2 p.m. Moscow time, that means 8 a.m. Brasilia time, 4:30 p.m. New Delhi time, 7 p.m. Beijing time, and 1 p.m. Pretoria time. See you tomorrow.
Saturday night in the summer, sundown and they all come out. Lamborghinis in